So, and when I met Jesus, and I knew that this is the right, the one that I was always searching for.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Jennifer Kang, and this is the Restore Healthcare Project. I just want to remind you to like, follow, subscribe. We're so glad you're along for the ride here at the podcast. I'm here today across many time zones with Dr. Nabarun Dhar, who's here to talk with us about what God is doing in his life. He's an ophthalmologist currently in India. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kang. It's been an honor, and it's been wonderful to meet you here for this podcast. And I'm excited about this. Thank you so much.
It's so amazing what God does to connect me to different people, even around the world, who turn out to be so kindred in the spirit and to carry the same passion and fire. So it helps to encourage you that you know that God is doing something. God is stirring because it's just not you. You're not the only one, and you can find many people like you around the world. I was just so excited to have met you and to hear what you're doing. I'd love it if you would introduce us to you and to your specialty in healthcare, how you got there, what you do.
Sure. My name is Nabarun Dhar. I'm an ophthalmologist. I'm currently practicing in India. It's a town called Guwahati. But I'm currently posted in a town called Nalbari. So it's around 60 kilometers from where I stay. And it's basically a tertiary care setup that the government set up. So which serves both the urban as well as the rural populations, but mainly the rural. So my work is both clinical as well as surgical, but I also have a strong, burden to create awareness through social media. I have an Instagram page through social media where I post timely about eye care, health, eye care, and health. So that's what I do exactly.
Wow. Did you always know you wanted to be a doctor? How did that happen for you?
Not exactly, but I would say I was always a sick child when, I was always a sick child. Uh, but I've, since my childhood, I've always been to the doctor's clinic. So when I would see a doctor prescribe medications, I would very fascinated. I was very fascinated looking at a person who could just write something on a piece of paper and you would get healed. So I'd always want to be a doctor from my childhood. And even when they were like fancy dress in schools and all, so I would always be a doctor. I would dress up as a doctor. that was my journey. That's how it started.
Oh, wow.
But again, it was like a passion that I had from a very childhood. But as I got into medical school, that is when I understood that it was not just my own thought, but it was also a passion that God put in my heart from my childhood.
Wow.
Yeah. So because I remember when I got into medical school, when I gave my life to Jesus, basically. So I remember a voice telling me like, I'm giving you these hands and this knowledge to serve. That's what I heard from the Lord.
So Nabarun, you didn't grow up as a
yeah.
believer then. You grew up in a different religious construct, or what was your background?
So I come from a non-Christian background. I never heard about, Jesus. I've never heard about the Bible. But when I got into medical school, there were a lot of issues that I faced because of the stress of medical school.
Yeah.
So I got into a lot of addictions because of that. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it alone. Passing medical school was not easy for me.
Yeah.
Because here in India, the training is so hardcore, it's so difficult. So I knew that I would not be able to do it alone. So I got into addictions and I started to see my grades fall as well. But then I had a friend who was a believer. And when I got invited to a church, I didn't really know much about the word. I didn't even understand much, but I really enjoyed the worship because I was musically inclined. So I enjoyed the worship. And as I kept going over and over again, I saw a transformation in me. I didn't know what God was doing in my heart,
Oh, wow.
but I saw a transformation in me. And there was a point in my life when I saw all my addictions, break, all my chains break,
Oh, wow.
bondages break. And that is when I gave my life to the Lord.
Wow. So you sensed something. You didn't understand what was happening at this
Yeah.
church. You didn't understand even the Christian language,
No.
but you felt something. You recognized something. Do you think that was your spirit that was recognizing being
Yeah,
drawn
I
by the Lord?
definitely realized that there was not me who was thinking all these things in my head, but there was something that was much higher, much above me, that was trying to communicate with me, because God talks.
Yeah.
We just need to tune our ears to His frequency.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was just trying to listen to Him. I was searching for something. I didn't know it was. I was searching for God, but I was trying to fill in this uh, hole that was in my heart.
Mm.
So, and when I met Jesus, and I knew that this is the right, the one that I was always searching for.
So that happened to you kind of in the middle of your medical training, in medical school, in a desperate time of your life. And
Yeah.
so it felt natural to you meeting Jesus that your medical career was integrated with that. It just naturally happened. You heard him talk to you about your hands and your gift. So that seemed like maybe you knew it was your calling in Jesus at the same time that you met him.
Yes. Like I said, these were the words that I heard. Like, I'm giving you these hands and this
Mm.
knowledge. So, and what I interpreted was, um, since he was talking about my hands, I was always thinking about some kind of a surgeon.
Ah,
So I'll just be very honest with you. I cleared my residency exam. So we have NEET PG exam that we give here.
yeah.
So I cleared my residency exam and I got into orthopedics first initially. I got
Oh.
into orthopedics residency, and the training was so hectic that I couldn't even go to church.
Ah.
The blessing that was supposed to be given to me, from the Lord, that was actually taking my time away from the Lord.
Mm.
So I decided to give that up.
Wow.
I decided to give my residency of orthopedics, and I joined ophthalmology because, yes, it is hectic, but not as hectic
Ah.
as orthopedics, because there are lesser number of emergencies, obviously.
Yeah.
So the moment I got into ophthalmology, I knew that this was what the Lord is trying to tell me to get into,
Oh.
and restoring vision is something that Jesus did.
Yes, just like Jesus, making the blind to see, huh? Wow. So, as you began to live through residency and then practice after that, how did you begin to learn to integrate this newfound relationship with Jesus into your everyday life in medicine?
Uh, I saw many of my colleagues getting frustrated
Mm.
because in a government college there are so many patients. The caseload is so high.
Uh-huh.
I see them getting frustrated. I see them getting burned out during residency as well as during practice.
Yeah.
Uh, and because I met Jesus in 2015 during my medical school. So I found him 10 years back. And the moment I knew that I was doing things with him, life was easy for me. The moment I started to, there were times when I was drifting away from him as well. Life hasn't been very smooth for me.
Right.
Uh, yeah. So the moment I saw, myself just drifting away from him, I saw my life getting tougher because I was trying to do things by myself.
Mm,
But the moment I was dependent on him, I knew that it'll get easy. It's gonna
mm.
get easy.
Wow.
And so it has happened. I've seen that with my results as well, with my marks as well in residency.
Mm,
So you know, that's when I knew that this, the two things, basically God and my medical career, they have to go hand in hand.
mm.
One cannot, one cannot be one over the other.
Yeah. I mean, certainly where you live and practice as a believer, you're not in the majority within your country and your culture. Did that present an obstacle to you? Was that difficult? Did you have challenges or persecution? What was that like as you were starting your journey with Jesus?
Yes, there always has been because where I live, according to the census, it's around the Christians are around 2 to 3%, not considered as minority.
Yeah.
But you know, there has been times where there's a lot of tension building up, and in a busy hospital, a prayer is most of the times it's overlooked because people from other faith think that prayer is basically, you know, it's not going to help you much. People think that only the medicines that'll help you. And there are patients from other faiths as well that I treat. There are people who resist prayer as well. They don't want prayer. But I know that whatever I do, I have to pray before I do that.
Mm.
I have to pray. So there's always been, I always pray in my heart. I've always,
Yes.
even if somebody is rejecting prayer, but I'll pray that you're gonna get healed. You're gonna get healed. So that'll
Mm.
be my prayer for my patients as well.
Yeah. So you've learned to integrate prayer in natural ways that aren't necessarily overt because you found not all of your patients would want to have you pray out loud for them, but you still are communicating with the Holy Spirit. How do you do that?
So there are patients who are very open. There
Wow.
will be people who are extremely open. They actually ask me for prayer once they come to know that I'm a believer.
Ah,
So that's an open opportunity for me to pray for them.
yeah.
There are people from my faith who are believers. They'll come to me and they'll tell me. Sometimes there are people who come from other they're admitted in other hospitals, and then they ask me to go and pray for them in
Oh,
hospitals as well.
wow.
So there has been opportunities where I have been able to go to other hospitals and pray for people. But there also has been challenges sometimes when people just reject, and then they this blatantly they'll just come out to you and just say that you're just trying to convert us because it's in India and it's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's also a thing. So there are persecutions in different ways, but God has been faithful through it all.
Mm, wow. I'm sure that you have seen some things that God has done that you as a physician can't explain medically. How has that been for you? And how do you interact with patients when God heals them or they have an outcome that's different than what we can explain?
Uh, the moment I'm treating any patient or before I start a surgery, I'll always pray. If even if somebody is not, even if it's not out loud, but I'll start with the prayer.
Mm.
I just share a testimony here.
Yeah.
It was back in 2019 when my father-in-law, he used to be a non-believer. Saying used to be because now he's open, he's loud. So, yeah, so he used to be a non-believer, and he used to be an alcoholic. So
Mm.
he was addicted to alcohol for over 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
So he was, yeah, in 2019, he was in his end stage liver disease. So, and as much as we have seen, the last days only treatment is a transplant.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that was the only treatment that the medicine specialist told us to do. So get a transplant done. But my wife, my sister-in-law, me myself, my brother-in-law, the moment I reached the hospital, I saw because I was allowed to enter the ICU. Um, since I was a doctor, so they
Yeah.
allowed me to enter. I saw his mask full of blood because he was bleeding. He was bleeding profusely. Um, I knew that what God was telling me, what God was telling us, the promise that He has given us, was actually God spoke to my wife about her dad's condition, and she heard it very clearly that God telling her that I will return laughter in your house.
Mm.
That was the promise that God gave her. And the moment, a few days after that, she saw her father collapse.
Wow.
But we knew that, what we're seeing with the eyes, with our physical eyes, that's not the truth.
Mm.
God is actually telling us that is the truth. So we kept praying. We took the medications, we took the treatment. We didn't go for the transplant. So we kept praying and we just kept releasing the word over him. Every night we'd just sit down together as a family. We'll read the word, we'll release the word over his life. And you not believe me, today in 2025, he's alive and kicking.
Come on.
He is a bold preacher of the word. And the moment we got the ultrasound done, I remember we went for the first checkup. That was back in 2021. After we went for the first checkup, the doctor who was treating him, he didn't believe that he didn't get a transplant because he saw there was a new liver. Saw it.
What?
Yeah.
And was, like, in shock, I'm sure. Yeah. So your father-in-law went from bleeding profusely in the ICU, presumably end-stage liver failure results, to an ultrasound that looks like a new liver.
Yeah. The new
Amazing.
liver. I saw it myself. The doctor was he called me because he just wanted to confirm whether whether he got a transplant done or not, because he was confused.
Oh my goodness. When in that story did your father-in-law give his life to Jesus?
So that was the night when he was admitted in the ICU. He was a hardcore non-believer, so he was the one persecuting mainly my wife and my sister-in-law. Um, so when he was in the ICU, before I came the ICU, so what happened was he saw himself sinking inside the ground.
Wow.
That's what he saw. That's what he told me. He saw himself sinking, and he thought it was me because he saw somebody grab his hand and pull him out.
Wow.
And he didn't know whom to call. He didn't know he didn't use the word Jesus. So my wife's name is Sonia, and my sister-in-law's name is Monica. So the words that he used was uh, the God of Sonia and Monica. If you
Oh.
are real, save me. So the moment he said that, he saw a figure holding his hand and pulling him out of the crowd. So that's what he saw.
Oh my
And
goodness.
a few minutes later, I arrived, and that's what he thought actually it was me. But later, when he came out of the ICU, I told him that it wasn't me. So that is when he understood that it was God who had an encounter with him,
Mm.
and he was in tears.
Wow.
And over time, we saw his journey of healing, not just physically, but his mind was written. So we saw
Mm.
that transformation as well.
That's amazing.
And like the word says, everything is possible with God, Matthew 19. So,
Yes. Oh, wow. It's so fun to hear these stories, not just because they're so transformational and inspiring and confirm the goodness of God to all, but it's also so fun to hear from a physician who can look at the situation and see all of the medical impossibility and confirm the the wonder and the miracle of what has happened. Um, and the ripples of that are huge. How many people then get to be impacted by that? By your father-in-law who now preaches the gospel boldly with his new liver. So amazing.
yeah, because, if it comes from a person, you can just say it out, like, this person has been healed. But if it comes from a physician who has studied the physiology, the anatomy, the whole body, basically, so you understand the truth, basically. You understand how the body is actually working, how the body tries to heal. But these are miracles that even us doctors, cannot really explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's
So
amazing.
once people get to hear these stories, um, it's very easy for people to come to the Lord, because these testimonies help people to get out of similar situations. These
Mm.
testimonies give people hope.
Wow.
So that has been helpful as well.
Yeah. It's amazing too what you have found yourself being led by the Lord to do alongside medical practice, as if that's not busy enough, you and your wife have also been involved in leading a church. How did that come about, and how is that going?
That has been a journey. When it was a prompting from the Lord that the people need to be fed,
Mm,
because we see churches here in India, but there are very few churches that are spirit led.
mm.
Right, there are very few churches that are actually spirit led. So when it was actually prompting in my wife's heart that mm, she should be preaching the word, and when that happened, she left her job, she left everything,
Wow.
and we just started a small fellowship in our own house, where we didn't have chairs, we didn't have that many chairs or place to sit. People would just sit on the ground. We just had a small stand where you could just keep your phone, sit to preach from.
Wow.
We had a guitar.
Yes.
I would lead worship. Yeah, so we started from a home that was around 30 people initially when we started, and within uh, 2 weeks, I think, there were complaints from our neighbors.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because again, persecution is,
Yep.
it's like it increases the fire. So anyway, so there were complaints from the neighbors that you can't do this here. So again, more people kept starting come. From 30, we increased to 40, 50. Then we couldn't accommodate 60 people in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we thought of taking a place on rent. When we started, we didn't even have the the money to to get a rented place. We didn't have money to buy equipment. We didn't have money to buy the chairs for people to sit. We didn't have much money basically. But once we told those people, whoever was there, uh, who were coming, we told them that this was a requirement, and within a week we could God provided through those people, and
Wow.
we had more than enough to buy the equipments, to buy the chairs, to get a rented place. And it's just last Sunday we had more than 300 people coming.
Wow.
So
Where are these
that's
people
how.
coming from? Are they people that you're meeting, you're taking care of?
So the initial few people, they invited more people, and once we started, we also go online with our teachings.
Yeah.
Our teachings go online. So most of the people, when they hear the word, they want to know more about the word. They get excited. There's a stirring in the spirit
Hmm.
that there's a hunger in their hearts.
Yeah.
So these people want to know more. They're not satisfied with what they're getting on social media. So they keep searching. Where is this church? Who is this preacher? So the
Oh,
moment they get that, and they keep searching, and they just come. We don't even have to invite. We don't
wow.
even have to invite them anymore. So they just keep coming in, and like I said, last just this Sunday we had 300 people come in.
My goodness. Now, what is the reaction to that from your colleagues, from your patients? Do they know about your faith? Do they know that you're leading a church? How does that go for you?
Yes, my colleagues, some of them they're very supportive of what we do. Some they're ignorant. They're like, whatever you're doing, it's fine. That's it. Like some of them, they have actually attended church. There are some of my juniors who actually are in medical school right now, and they really get encouraged of how I've been balancing medical school, my practice right now as well as my faith. So they get really encouraged, and they do take advice from me regarding how they should do the same. And some there are who have been persecuting me as well. So
Yes.
there are all kinds of like
The
me.
whole
So it's the
spectrum.
same.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a spectrum. So
Yeah.
it's the same with patients. Mostly patients are very supportive because in India, people see doctors as it's a noble profession. So they're really supportive. I've never had a patient till now who has discouraged me or discouraged us in what we do, but most of them have been very encouraging, and some patients have even come to our services. But again, colleague wise, yes, there has been a spectrum, a whole spectrum of
Yeah, yeah.
people.
It must be so interesting too, because I'm sure that you're also involved to some degree in training junior doctors and students, um, and honoring their process of learning, but also living your life in a different way. Do they ask you questions? Are they curious about the way that you do medicine?
A lot actually.
Mm.
They just want to know how to do it basically, because medical school, obviously medical school is not easy. It's a tedious long process, and again, residency is hard. People, when they get into residency, I've seen people, they start losing their faith. They start getting away from uh, the Lord. So it's so very important that you once you start residency, it's so very important that it's more you go deeper in the Lord. It's very important. So there has been my juniors who come to me and they ask me about how to handle this balance, this perfect balance. So the things that I have learned from the Lord, the same things that I can teach them. So I'm grateful that I can do that, because God's been teaching.
Mm. And some of that, do you talk about Jesus and his role in essentially rescuing you from
Yeah.
your desperate times? Are you able to share your testimony with them?
Yes, I've been able to share my testimony with so many. But again, there has been mixed responses. Some of them, they have been really in awe of what Jesus has done in my life. But some of them, they're like, you can do this by yourself. That's not a big deal.
They're very
You can get rid
uncertain.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you can get rid of the addictions medically because these are doctors, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Uh,
there has been a mixed reaction to that as well.
yeah. Yeah. What kind of things do you see in your clinic? Have you seen God move in your own patients? What are some of the things that you've been able to see?
Yes. Just this last week, I'd like to share. There was this patient. She was a young patient. She came to me with the cyst in the eyelid. So, and she was, women being, she wanted to, she wanted surgery, but she didn't want any scar. But like in any kind of lid surgery, if you're doing, after the surgery, there is some sort of swelling will always be there. Usually because again, inflammation will be there. So there is a swelling and there some scar is always there if it's not done well. So I, told the patient, I told her that I'll I'll do it not just by myself, but God will be with you and he'll be helping me do the surgery. That's what I told her. And day 2 post-op, I saw the patient. There was zero scar. There was
What?
no swelling at all. Because I was specifically praying for this patient because I knew that she was very, apprehensive. She was a little scared as well
Yeah.
because she didn't want to her eyes to look bad because she was getting married. I think she's getting married after a few weeks,
Oh,
so she didn't
wow.
want, yeah, so she didn't want her face to look. So
Wow.
I prayed to the Lord because I was specifically praying for this patient that I don't want to see this. I was very specific about my prayer as well. I don't want to see this. I don't want, and God has been so faithful,
Wow.
and He's helped me with these surgeries as well. Yeah,
I mean, this is amazing. These are the kind of stories I personally love the most because you're co-laboring with the Lord and he's healing a person through the surgery that you're doing. You have
yeah,
a role, you did excellent surgery, but he was also with you and you end up with an outcome that's beyond what you can guarantee.
yeah.
That's just amazing. And isn't it amazing that God would want to do that with us?
Because He's always, we were made to be friends with Him, to be friends of God. So he's always looking for a relationship. So uh, at the end of the day, what do we all want? We want to be loved. We want to be in a relationship, right? So it's the same with God. He wants to talk to us. He wants to commune with us. He wants to be friends with us. So the moment we start co-laboring with Christ, we see our lives change. We're not doing things by yourself, and things starts to get easy. Everything starts to get easy. And I've seen how beautiful the outcomes have been when I'm specifically praying for a patient,
Mm,
when I'm specifically talking to the Lord. Even during the surgery, I'm like, I've seen those transformations happen,
wow,
and it's been wonderful. It's been beautiful. Yeah.
amazing. I ask this question of all my guests. Using your divine imagination, where do you imagine what would you see Jesus doing in the spaces where you work, in your hospital, in your clinic? What kind of things would he be doing if you could see him with your eyes?
uh if I could see a lot, because in India, we're still a third world country, and I see sickness all around me.
Hmm.
So if Jesus was physically here, I would see him preaching to the thousands again. He would
Wow.
be,
You
gathering people here,
Would he be packing out your hospital?
but I'll be co-laboring with him.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he'll be healing in the thousands, and there'll be people who come to the Lord, to Jesus, to be healed, to see the healing right in front of them.
Mm, wow.
Because people here in India, they're actually very spiritual. They want to know. They want. They're actually searching for the answer, but many of them, they're going in the wrong direction. So once they meet the Lord, I know that their faith will be very strong. They just need to be guided in the right direction.
You know, it's so interesting. I have started to learn this as I've asked this question, that what comes out of our hearts when we respond to what would I see Jesus doing, it often is it's not just hope and dream. It's actually an expression of what God has put inside of us. And we actually are doing those things. We will be doing those things. So I just think that's
Yeah.
fascinating that, Nabarun, you see Jesus preaching in the thousands in your hospital and healing in the thousands, because I have a feeling that's what you'll be doing with Jesus. Mm, Amazing. It's been such a pleasure to have you here with us today, just to give us a sense of what God is doing on the other side of the world with you and your heart, to see Jesus be known and to encounter those that he loves so much in the patients and colleagues that you serve. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. K.
Oh, he's so good. God is so good to allow us to work with him. I just love that Jesus just wants to be friends with us. What if he just wants to be friends with you in your medical practice, in your healthcare work, and the fun and adventure that he would like to invite you into? It's been great to have you here with us. I'm Dr. Jennifer Kang, and this is the Restore Healthcare Project. Healthcare professionals, I'm so excited to be able to connect with you on issues regarding spiritual needs in healthcare. We want to partner together to see some of the ruined places of healthcare culture restored by hope. Follow us at restorehealthcareproject.org and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and social media.